Okay, hello everyone, my name is Marcella Jenkins, and my topic is what is life like with diabetic neuropathy. Diabetic neuropathy is a nerve damage that occurs with people who have diabetes, normally caused by having high blood sugars or having diabetes for a long time. I will be interviewing 3 people, including my mom, who has type 2 diabetes. What I'll be asking them is, what type of diabetes do they have? What parts of the body does the damage occur? And what type of symptoms do they have? Some symptoms are like tingling, burning sensation in like the hands, the feet, legs, arms, and different body parts. And different types of diabetes is type 1, that you still have insulin, but you need insulin, and type 2 is that you insulin dependent, but you still take insulin. That's all I got. Do I just X this out?
Mm-hmm. Give 1 minute. All right, do we have anyone else who needs to present whose last name begins with a letter before the letter M? So that's A, B, C, all the way to M as in mouse. Okay. N, like Nancy. O, like the ops. P. All right, head on up.
Okay. So my presentation is how the lack of diversity in the government affects voting. So basically, my research explores why it matters that elected officials reflect the diversity of the population and how the lack of representation can impact someone's motivation to vote. This is important because basically every president that we've had has looked the same. They've been different, but they're all relatively like of the same background. They're like white and kind of on the older side, except one, of course. And I did my research already, but the method I used was interviewing. So I interviewed 5 of my friends, and the questions that I asked them was, how important is it for you that elected officials reflect the diversity of the general population? Do you believe that having more diverse representation in the government would impact policy decisions and why? And have you ever felt that a lack of diversity in the government influenced your choices or decision to vote? And I got the answers, but I won't say them yet. And it basically just highlighted that it's a really significant role in the diversity in the government, since it plays in like political decisions and how like your area is gonna run, whether you're voting for like the president, mayor, governor, anything like that. And, yeah, that's it.
Could you put your name on the board?
Okay, so I decided to do research on the impact of mental health diagnosis in teens. So mental health can be conditions like depression, anxiety, and almost 49.5% of teens experience a mental health disorder and are diagnosed with a mental health disorder. And a lot of teens end up experiencing like stigmas, which is basically when people already have a point of view of who they are and ideas of what they deal with. Addressing these issues is vital as they can affect development, relationships, schooling, and I feel like if more people understand these stigmas, it will encourage people to seek help. And I already did my research. I interviewed 6 people, all teens who have or are diagnosed with a mental health disorder. And it led me to create this, and it's basically like different things that affect them after the diagnosis and after they receive mental health issues. And that's it.
All right. Any other last names that we want? P, Q, R,
So, did you know that AI wrote a novel titled Won the Road? Or how about creating an award-winning art piece? Could you have guessed that AI can create symphonies? To begin, let's ask ourselves, is AI just a powerful tool that enhances human creativity, or is it something that's stifling it and hurting our future generations? To answer that, we look at tools like AI. We look at AI tools like ChatGPT and DALL-E. These tools become accessible to everyone, and they're getting more advanced by the day. It's no secret that they're transforming creative industries. But there's a concern that's widely overlooked. Is AI limiting the human capacity for original thought, or is it ultimately devaluing human innovation? Let's focus a little bit more on that. So, like every issue, there are pros and cons with this. Some pros are that AI can generate ideas, like and cure writer's block. It can add efficiency to the entire creative process by automating repetitive tasks. It can also bring creative tools to those who don't have that same access. Those are all great pros, but the cons are glaring though. AI does in fact encourage over-reliance. That would reduce skill building and also hurt the entire learning process. There's also no such thing as original AI work. It just remixes existing ideas and concepts. AI also promotes procrastination by speeding up the entire process of the work, making it lackluster most of the time. So even with those pros and cons in mind, I don't believe that AI has to be the death of creativity. That's not what I'm saying. But there does need to be guidelines and rules set in place to make sure that doesn't happen. One of those are making sure that AI just assists the user rather than doing the entire project for them. Like you see here, I surveyed 5 people, creative professionals, based on how they use AI. They put doesn't use AI if they feel like they just either don't use it at all or just use it for their entire project, and of course use AI to use the system. What can I say to you though is the next time you sit down and use AI, ask yourself whose work is it really? Is it yours or the lines of code that output it? And that's where your answer lies. Thank you.
All right, any other R last names? S?
Okay, so I did my project over how gender dysphoria, I think I'm pronouncing that right? Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. I'm doing my project over how gender dysphoria affects people and their mental health. So what is gender dysphoria? It's basically where a person, after a person gets assigned their gender at birth, they feel different. So I guess an example could be you're born a female android, that's what you're assigned to, but as you grow older, you feel a connection more towards being a male rather than a female. And I plan to do my project by interviewing one of my close friends from home who has been affected by this. And some of the questions I'm gonna ask are, how old were you when you discovered from when you felt different from the gender you were assigned to? How long before you started showing your true self to people? Did any of your friends begin to treat you differently after you came out? And one of my big questions is gonna be, did your parents support you? And if you had a chance to talk to anyone, if they give you positive or negative feedback, how did you overcome it? And that is it.
All right. Any other R's? S, T, okay.
Alright, so I did mine on the men's decline in mental health over time. This is one of the statistics that I have. It shows the increase in suicide rates since 1999. It's kind of an old one, but it goes up till 2017, and it's from the CDC, so it's a pretty reliable source too. But I bet you didn't know that 80% of suicides are caused by men. That's over a 4-time ratio compared to women. Most people don't realize that. That's one thing I saw in some of my research so far. I plan on doing interviews. Some of the questions that I'll ask is, since COVID, how have you been affected mentally? Have you seen a therapist? So I'm gonna ask people who have or have some sort of mental health issue. Some of the other statistics that I've seen, I forgot to put them in the slide, but 40% of men that have been diagnosed with a mental health disorder have not seen a therapist. Personally, I mean, I think if you're diagnosed with something, you should see a therapist like me, but I mean, the questions, I haven't really done any of the research yet. I have the articles and statistics, but yeah, that's pretty much what I got for now.
Can you go back to the first slide so that people can see your name?
Yeah, oh, my bad. Yeah, my handwriting's pretty bad, but.
All right. Any other S's? T, U, V. Anyone else? Everyone's gone. All right. Congratulations, you all. Round of applause. Now, I am sure some poor soul is going to send me an email saying, oh, I didn't get to go. So, if that is the case, then on Monday, when we are online, we may have some people who go then. All right. If some emergency comes up or what have you, I do have some few folks who have sent emails saying that they can't go this week. So with that being said, we will meet online next week, and then we will come in. So we're switching it. If you got my email yesterday, we're going to switch the Monday class that we would be in class to online, and then we are going to come in that week before we start finals, like December 2nd, 3rd, right? And then we'll have I'll bring some snacks or something like that, and then we'll go through with LSU's library so they can show you how to use the online databases for substantial research, substantive research, because I really only go over Google Scholar because that is the easiest, most direct way for you to get information even after you finish at LSU, because outside of LSU you won't be able to access the library system. All right. See you on Monday, and if you have any questions about grades or anything, I will be online tomorrow for office hours. Please go through and calculate your grade by hand using the back of the syllabus. I'm going to put up an in-class participation link next week where I want you to screenshot that filled out. So might as well get it done ahead of time. All right? See you then.